I'll message you in the chat so you don't hear me talking.
I knew, I knew there would be one problem. I knew there'd be one problem, and I even reminded myself when I went to go get food. I'm like, turn on the mic when you get back. Okay, so let me recap through all of that. All right, I'm just all right. Well, anyways, now that you all can probably hear me, I'll check the chat if you can't still. You guys should be able to hear me, right? Yeah. Awesome, cool. Alrighty, so let's go through a few of the things that I was just talking about, and I practically was talking to myself. I want to say first and foremost, you probably noticed there's a lot of changes to the stream. We really tried to beef up the stream, but putting the term "we" is kind of a misstatement. I really want to give a lot of big. Oh, no, I'm trying to. Sorry. I want to give a really big shout out to one of our fellow moderators and one of my personal friends for a long time, Aegis, who put together all of this. You see all the changes on the stream. It's all thanks to him. He sat down for the past few hours helping me do this completely out of his own time, and I appreciate him putting in the effort to make it better. And it appears that all right, awesome, you guys hear me now. Good. Pepe, you're competing against Trump addressing the nation. Well, you gotta pick. You can play both of them if you want, but anyways, I just want to say thank you again to Aegis. You guys should definitely communicate with him if you want to learn a little more about about myself and everything. He's a really great guy, and he's definitely one of the best moderators I could ever have. Not to mention someone who obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to streaming. He helped me so much on OBS on getting all this set up. So to point out a few of the new things before we get covering into average live stream coverage, I want to point out a few things that we've got new. We have a nice clear chat box on the left side of the screen, so it's not taking up as much. I don't technically see the chat box, so I'm gonna have to, until I get a second monitor, check my phone, which I have the feed running through live. And then, as you can also see, we have a ticker symbol at the top. We're going to make a custom one with all the altcoins that we really like. It's going to take a little while to build that, but we're going to eventually get that on the live stream. But for now, you can get a feed for current Bitcoin rates, which is top for now. And then also at the bottom right, we have a subscription, or sorry, not subscription, a donation fee. So if you guys donate, it'll show up there as the most. So again, big shout out to Aegis. Helps me out so much. I barely did any of it except for some of the displays for the different screens that I'll need for. That being said, it seems like everything's running good. Yeah, we're also getting Nightbot set up. We're getting a lot of things changed to the stream, folks. So I appreciate you sticking around. Let me check real quick. We got a good amount of you watching. Awesome. Yeah, definitely share it around, everybody. Nice to see you're in here. Yes, yeah, Paralyzed. I was doing the Portal theme. I thought that'd be a good intermission theme, something I could have until I would start the stream. So just to let you all know, from future reference, jump right into the analysis of all the things I got to cover. The stream has 3 different phases. There's a start phase where I'm going to launch it, and it'll say we'll get started soon. Do that 5 or 10 minutes while I get prepped up and let you all get in the stream, start chatting with one another. And then the other phase that I have is the one I'm seeing now, which is this vision of me on the webcam, the mic, and the screen. And then there's also a third one where there might be an intermittence where I might need to go do something, like when I go to the bathroom. That doesn't mean I'm going away or there's any technical errors. It just usually, I don't want to leave the whole live stream up. That being said, well, sometimes I might just leave up the chart, but sometimes I'll also put the, you guys can just so hopefully you all like the changes. I'd love to get your feedback in the comments if you guys can share it. Let's see here. Nice to see you all getting here. All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to start answering a few questions in a little bit, folks. I want to get to answering as many as I can. However, I've got to cover what you all have been dying to see, which is what we were covering earlier in my video on Korean markets and the money that's flowing in. So, we go here to the daily. We see that Ripple had its, I guess not its biggest, but one of the biggest days of volume since all the way back in. Folks, I know the longs on this one have been looking for that final uptick in price action, and we finally got it in Ripple today. Finally, after all of the negativity and the abuse, there was finally a positive day for Ripple. I heard that there was supposedly some news. I definitely want to see. I want to look into it on desk and Twitter and check out what happened. But supposedly there was some China news on Ripple. That was the catalyst that pushed this up. That being said, we'll look into some of the news in a bit. However, we have to take a moment to celebrate for the longs who are on Ripple. Congratulations, whether you did it, for my video or the countless, recommendations I gave you, or if you just really were long on Ripple. I really want to say congratulations. You guys deserve it. You've held long term. For any of you who picked up down here, very nice purchases. I told y'all it was flattening out right here. The selling was slowing down. It was looking like definitely saw Ripple win. The other one I want to cover real quick that is also doing pretty well is Litecoin. We all know I was talking about Litecoin as well. It looks kind of janky on the 30-minute here, but you can see on the hourly. Still building up, and on the daily as well, looking very nice for a continuation. I'm telling you all, the backbone cryptocurrencies, Litecoin, Ripple, and Ethereum Classic, which we talked about, are definitely going to be the winners over the next few days and maybe even weeks, especially with a Bitcoin pullback. People are looking, especially the big investors who are in South Korea right now, are picking up the big names, and they're the only ones on the exchange technically for BitHum. So, I mean, that being said, I think a lot of them also want the stable ones. That's why they bought Monero, which is the largest privacy coin. My stream just going? Sorry, guys. Oh, well, we're back online. Well, first off, Kevin, thank you for dropping a donation. I hope everything's back online. I'm sorry if that cut out for a second. But thank you, Kevin. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate it. If you got something you want me to cover or anything in particular you want me to talk about, let me know. Oh, that's cool to see that everything's working on the stream. There's a lot of things you guys can probably see that I can't see on the stream. I'm still trying to get used to it. Thank you all very much. Kevin, I appreciate the donation, and hopefully you've been benefiting from the recent videos that have been coming out. I appreciate it, man. And hopefully, I hope you liked my gigawatt coverage. I really had fun making that video, and I'm really optimistic on it. I'm going to see if there's any way I can participate in it or hopefully get tokens. Yeah, so I apologize for the lag guys stuff. I still got to get my... This is... Yeah, you know what? How about real quick, would you all want me to go plug in my Ethernet and get that finally set up? Because I think I could do that real quick. Or I could... Actually, I'm going to put it in intermission and go see if I can fix that real quick. So don't go anywhere. I want to improve the internet so you don't have the consistent interruptions. I'll be right back, and we'll get back right on with the live stream. I'm going to be doing this for another hour and a half to 2 hours. So we're going to have a nice late night live stream, and we'll get back to what we're doing. All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and put myself on mute and put myself back in it. All right, everyone, I'm back on the stream. All right, let's get back into what we were doing. So, I got Ethernet plugged in. There should be no more interruptions. If at this point there are interruptions, you can give me crap for my internet and we will upgrade the package. Sorry, I've been on wireless this whole time, so I think it's about time I finally got the Ethernet plugged in. And actually, surprisingly, I just it wasn't originally long enough, but I tilted my PC a little bit, and when you know, it reaches to the room now. So we are good to go, everyone. And it's good that we're on Litecoin right now. It seems like some interesting action still going on with this one. I think we still have yet to really see it take off yet, but definitely interested in Litecoin. So, alrighty. So getting back to what we were talking about, I think that we saw obvious support as we predicted for weeks on end about Litecoin. Is the stream on the right one? I'm a little bit delayed, but compared to you guys. Awesome. Okay, so we're all good. Let me make sure I'm live. Oh, I'm not live on my end. Sorry, just want to make sure I saw that. All right, cool. No more technical difficulties. So, or at least as for now. So, as I was saying, we've been predicting this price level for Litecoin for quite some time, and it was a good call. 1 million Satoshis is a pretty possible support level for this, especially with the raging Bitcoin. So, I think that we saw the pullback, and we got it. If you're buying anywhere in these levels, folks, if you're holding for the long term, you're most likely in a position to make a good return. I'm optimistic on Litecoin. I have been for quite some time. And even up here, I was optimistic, but I told you all, we have to wait for the pullback. And what was nice is even with the Bitcoin rally, it looks like Litecoin has had a really negative pull down, but really it's just because Bitcoin's been rallying. It's been holding its 50-day, generally speaking, for quite some time, so, or in the USD valuation. So Litecoin's definitely an optimistic player. A lot of optimism around that. And we've also seen, let's check Ethereum Classic, because this is the other one we're watching for a breakout. Well, I gotta say the price action is getting a little more interesting over here. Volume's picking up as well, but nothing towards the breakout side yet. Definitely good volume, though, for Ethereum Classic for the closing day. So, did the stream just go off again? Why is it still going? That's upsetting. It's still going down. Sorry, that's going down sometimes, guys. I don't know. That's weird. Maybe it's on my end. Alrighty. So now that we've covered those, I think it's important to go look at Ripple, because Ripple has been the mover here. I think it's fair enough to say that Ripple is currently the leader in these kind of movements that we called. So is Ripple going to continue from here? I think that's a decent question. We have seen bounces like this in the past. However, it's very rare that we get this kind of volume, this kind of price action as well. So I think that personally, right now, what we can expect is a continuation over the next few weeks. I don't think we should be looking at this in the short term. I think, a few hours ago, if we look at the hourly candles, actually, no, I want to go down to the 5-minute, my bad. We can see the 5-minute. A lot of people thought this was an easy pump and dump and that it was done for, but the buying is still continuing. It's holding most of its gains, and it looks like it might want to curve back up to the highs over here. So over the next few hours, you all might be able to make a really decent return off of this over the next few days. So I don't think this is over for Ripple, Ethereum Classic, or Litecoin. I think these are still going to be winners. However, we see Bitcoin Cash, which I know some of you who have reached out to me in my chat who bought into the FOMO, had gotten a little bit ripped up by Bitcoin Cash, but it's all right, guys. We can learn from mistakes and stuff. And as I said, you don't want to buy at fresh highs. You want to buy at much lower levels. So I think that we're just gonna have to wait for Bitcoin Cash. I think that you could make a nice swing on Bitcoin Cash if it holds. It seems like it's holding support here for now, but if it breaks below, look to get Bitcoin Cash around 12,500,000 Satoshis if you wanted to get a buy on it for a swing trade. And then I would set your stop around 11,500,000 Satoshis if you're doing that swing trade. So it would either catch support here or it's just going to go right back down to where it was. I don't think we're going to go all the way down though. It seems like there's some optimism with miners in the sense of Bitcoin Cash. So definitely keep it on your radar. Alrighty, so that pretty much summarizes it. I think that we got a donation from Gaurav. Keep up the good work, Nick. Thank you, Gruff. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your donations. I'm glad to see you in the comments and in the streams. I see you all the time on my YouTube channel, so I appreciate you so much for everything that you say and everything you share. So if you got anything you want me to cover, let me know, man. I appreciate it. And sorry, guys, I'm not gonna be able to answer as many questions as usual. I have my phone attached to the screen. You don't want to know how it includes tape, but luckily I can see your all's message, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can now that I've got everything set up, and hopefully we'll have no more technical errors. But that being said, everyone, we were able to predict pretty last minute on the movements in the market, and I think that we still have some more money coming in from South Korea. I honestly think this is just the beginning. Not to mention institutional money in general, especially from Asian markets. So definitely keep an eye on it. All right, let's see real quick. Matthew said should have bought Ripple at the low. 15 cents, my brothers. Yeah, was that? Yeah. Let's see real quick. Let's check 10x real quick. Yeah, I was gonna say y'all aren't missing out on Ripple. I'll tell you, man. I think that it's good. It's got good lows right here. And if you're looking for an ICO to play here, as much as I think you should be focusing the majority of your portfolio, if you had to pick one side, if you want to do a 50-50 on the ICOs and on the legendaries like I've been talking about on my channel, I think that's a great strategy. But if you want to put a little more towards one side, I'd say the ICO, or sorry, no, I would probably say the legendaries. But if you're looking to invest in some ICOs right now, I would definitely say 10x is still looking good. This is a nice common pullback. Let's go ahead and apply the 21-day, as we've been talking about in my videos. And look at that. It looks like it's finding support, not only here, but it looks like if it can hold here, this would be a nice level of support for a run-up in 10x. I'm definitely keeping this on my radar. I recently closed my position in 10x, locked in some profits from the bottom I picked to go into Ethereum Classic. Once I lock in those gains, I'm going back into 10x. So we'll just have to see how that goes. However, the hourly here, remove the indicator because it doesn't really matter. This looks very nice, folks, and it looks exactly like we saw in the past, just a little more drawn out. It actually looks exactly like it. So we had the ramp up here, we had a slight curve, a little bit of a mini breakout, and then continuation. And then we had the pump up here, breakdown, a little bit of a pump right there, and it looks like we're pulling back, and we might just rally for more on 10x. So really liking the price action here. All right, let's see what everyone's saying. Leah, nice to have you on here, my fellow friend. It only gets pumped again if enough hash power switches over. The difficulty begins to increase a lot. Yeah, that's true. On if you guys are talking about Bitcoin Cash, I think that's honestly the case. Unless there's, I think if the difficulty adjusts too quick, then people are going to be like, well, you know, this was a lot of FOMO. A lot of people thought they could buy in and chase the hype and, you know, really benefit from it in a longer term sense. But it, you know, it's going to adjust eventually. So yeah, we're not getting the cashing, folks. And I don't think we're seeing that. The valuation differences between Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, even at its highs, were pretty astronomical. So, yeah, I know a lot of y'all are also asking about SafeX, so I wanted to keep this up as well. SafeX has just been demolished, and I gotta say, I see a good reason why. I love SafeX in the concept, but this has been one of the coins that I've lost a little bit of trust in, especially over the past few days. And you know, I recently uploaded my my 5 portfolios video that I recently did, and I definitely am thinking about replacing SafeX with something, because this has been quite depressing. I didn't actually check the past few days of price action on it, and you know, hear that the one of the team members had announced something that, you know, supposedly people didn't like the response he gave off, but yeah, just definitely a little bit upsetting on the end for me, because I really liked SafeX. And I didn't think it was a, you know, hyped up coin. I really thought this coin is worth the value that people are starting to give it. So unless they can really start fixing their wallet and start delivering better when they make promises, rather than trying to push things out too quick, I'm not feeling too eager on SafeX. Litecoin equals grower, not shower. And John, I agree with that. I think that it won't be an extreme pump and dump coin, like a lot of the other Korean levels of support. I think that we're gonna actually see this one go a little more steady, which is why I don't mind holding it. I'm really liking it. Omise Go iPhone 8 rumors. Thoughts, please. Alex, I haven't actually looked too much at Omise Go recently, but I have heard about the supposed iPhone rumors. So we'll have to see about that. Neo's a good buy right now for the 3 to 6 month scale. They're going to start launching ICOs, so it might still be looking more like Ethereum. Oh, so it might start looking more like Ethereum. No, I completely agree with you. I think we're gonna, I got actually a meme that I'm working on right now, a video that I want to post when Neo eventually passes Ethereum. In my mind, I know that sounds crazy to a lot of you probably, but I honestly see it happening in the sense of USD valuation or Bitcoin equivalent, whatever it may be. I think that eventually we'll see it in Neo. I think it's going to eventually get there and it's going to beat out Ethereum. And when it does, I'm going to post the most legendary meme. I'm perfecting it, putting a little bit of effort in each and every day to make sure it's quality and crisp. Because it does take a lot of work to make this meme that I'm working on. But I will definitely upload it, and I'm going to make it private because I might get some copyright in the sense of the content that it uses, so I'm going to keep it on private and send you all a link to watch it. All right. Did I look at Lisk recently? I Can Be a Millionaire. No, I haven't looked at Lisk yet on the live stream. However, Lisk was, to me, it was just a pump and dump. I mean, there wasn't enough serious volume to really get me to thinking this was like big investors getting in. I mean, look at that. That's a terrible charting pattern. I mean, it's still up. You gotta give it that. I mean, it is up, but the wicks gave it away on that daily candle that you shouldn't have bought it. You go here to the hourly. There's just a major sell-off right here, and it just continued. So I don't know. I don't really feel safe buying at these levels, to be honest. But nonetheless, I think Lisk is a good long-term buy. I wouldn't try to swing personally. You favor Neo. Must ask about Quantum. James, I actually want to do, it's funny you mentioned Quantum. I'm actually going to do an analysis video on Quantum relatively soon. That's another big candidate of mine to cover. So I'll definitely get to that in a future video pretty soon. Lunar, that's a pretty good question. I actually haven't looked at Lunar because I got stopped out on my swing trade. Looks about pretty much where I sold it. Big buyer came in with 13 Bitcoin there. I was really hoping that this would cup along the 300,000 Satoshi mark. I really saw a curving pattern with it, but now it looks like it's breaking down a little bit. That being said, in a fundamental sense, I've already told you I think this is relatively undervalued, but the thing is, is this the time to buy? Can you buy it here? Could you buy it down here? It really depends. I look for support levels. It's generally still holding around here. It hasn't completely, broken it and, fallen down with a lot of volume. The thing you have to keep in mind, this is something that I think buyers should be optimistic about. Look at these buy candles here. And I want you to really start reading volume candles, folks. In the sense of trying to teach you all how to read charts, I think reading volume is extremely important. And if you look at the volume here, we can see there was about a little over 5,000 Bitcoin traded in those days. That's straight buying volume, clearing through the sell walls. And you can see that the days following, even in all these days, there's not enough Bitcoin to add up to all that buying volume, which means that whoever bought it is holding that Lunar. And they're holding it comfortably at the extended prices they paid for. So definitely a winner in my opinion. In the long term, I think that there's people who are holding this and they actually believe in it. And that's what I always tell you. There's a difference between a pump and dump. A pump and dump is where you see literally the same volume candle buying and then the same selling the next day. It's almost like nothing changed. And everyone who bought at the top was idiots because, they were idiots because they paid, the high premium for it. So that's what you got to look out for. So, but nonetheless, if you're still holding Lunar and you're holding it for the long term, fine holding it here. It's still one of my top 5 coins. I just haven't checked it today personally, but definitely might add a little bit here. I'm getting boosting out my portfolio this week a little bit, and I think I'm gonna add back my 10x position. I'm gonna boost my Neo position, add to Lunar. And I think that's pretty much it for right now. I'll have a nice little extra diversification in my portfolio. So go ahead and take some questions here. Of course, the first thing I see, Jordan Palmer, smash the like for that one. Neo all the way up. I like that, Jordan. I completely agree. Let's see real quick. What price range is the best to buy Bitcoin right now? Let's go over to Crypto Watch. Let's go ahead and take a little look at Bitcoin. Ooh, Bitcoin had a nice little dip right here. Looks like the selling action's picking up. I'm telling y'all, I'm thinking that we're gonna get Bitcoin around this level here at 3,400, 3,500. But let's go here on the hourly to get a better picture. Ooh, yeah, we got a big ticket seller coming in, 5,000 Bitcoin. I'm liking this so far because I'm getting some Bitcoin tomorrow. Keep selling off. But yeah, if y'all are looking to add some Bitcoin, let it continue selling off a little bit and look to get around 36 to 3,700. Don't get greedy though if it starts to curve up. Definitely take this opportunity. Maybe start adding partial shares to it. But yeah, I think honestly what we saw here, folks, was just a common, I think it was a head and shoulder on the hourly actually. Yep, I'll show you what I mean by head and shoulder. I wonder if the drawing tool is going to cooperate with me this time. I really feel dangerous playing with it. Yep, it's not even working with me. Alright, get back with the crosshair tool. But basically you have the head and shoulder pattern here. And it's going to break down. So it's kind of a rough head and shoulder in my opinion, but definitely yeah, not looking optimistic on this one. It peaked out here. So this is really nice. Thank you for recommending me to look at Bitcoin because I think this is an important trend right now on the price action. Yeah, this is going to continue breaking down. This doesn't look like it's finding much support. It just needs the volume sell off. Once you reach these lows down here, let's see where the lows were. Yeah, once you reach down to the low 3,800 area, you're going to start seeing the volume pour back in on this one. And it's just going to keep dropping in my opinion. But definitely some big players dropped off and sold their Bitcoin here. It's a lot to see exchanged within a matter of 10 minutes. Man, what would you hate to be the guy on Coinbase who probably bought like some Bitcoin here, and then some big whales just decided to dump it. It's like, thanks, I could have waited 5 minutes and gotten like, you know, $100 discount on my Bitcoin. All right. Let's see here. I'm so under on my ARK. I bought it the other day at the high by accident. Yeah, Matthew, I'll tell you, I always tell y'all, it might seem as much, I mean, if you're making a long-term investment, you shouldn't fret over it that much. But never buy right when something's just spiked up to new highs, folks. That's chasing the highs. I've told you about that. Now, it's nothing to get mad about it, you know, towards yourself, but learn from your mistakes. You know, that's a big mistake that so many people make. I always get you know, I've noticed something on my channel, and you know, this shows you I'm not like a huge sellout. I don't just post videos on what's trending. I know a lot of people would go on something like Bittrex, the average individual probably who's new to cryptocurrency, and they look at the growth and change. You don't want to look for that, folks. That's not long-term winners right there. These are short-term winners. And many of them, for example, Sphere right here, may have the second highest gain for the day, but look at the volume. Let's go look at the chart here. I'm going to ask you, personally, do you think that this has had some fundamental change to it today that made it do this? Or do you think it's a pump and dump, like we've seen in the past? Like right here, and right here. And right here. Yep, so just, I mean, whether you like the technology of the small little coin or not, I mean, if you're holding it for the long term, that's fine, but don't, you know, damn it. Sorry to see the stream's going off, guys. I don't know why the internet's syncing. Why is the internet not working? That's so strange. Alright, well, I don't know if I'm back online yet, guys. I'll just wait here until I hear back in the chat. I'm actually going to change the quality real quick. That'll help this. Quality 240p. There we go. That might help streamline things. Alright, cool. Nice to see that we're back online, guys. I just changed the stream quality on my iPhone so I can keep up with it. I'm going to eventually get things working. I got to test out my internet some. I got to find a way to do it where I'm not streaming. You know, I might do a test stream someday and keep it private. But anyways, it looks like we're going to finally get the sell-off in Bitcoin we're looking for, folks. And I think this is really nice. I wonder how altcoins are reacting. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the altcoins we're watching. Is Ripple seems to be pulling back here a little bit, which is good. Because I want to keep this low for a while, folks. I don't know about you. I want to get our fill up as much as we can before we get a big run up on this. However, the chart, honestly, the wicks here, it's a little overextended more than I liked, but you get that with any kind of big volume buy into a currency. Luckily, it's holding the majority of its gains. I like that. Let's see what else here. Are any of our candidates moving? Ethereum Classic still kind of sitting around. I think both Ethereum Classic and Litecoin might take a few more hours or a day or two before they really get any big serious buyers. Well, Litecoin, I like this. It's curving back up. That's nice. Litecoin's just got, honestly, one of the best charts right now, folks. It looks like it's repeating exactly what it did back here. You got the big candle, you got the red candle, got a little candle here, starts building up, and then you get this massive exponential run-up. I think this is going to be one of the biggest winners over the next week or so. And like I said, you know, you got to diversify in the coins that you want to hold. Whether or not you believe in Litecoin, it's one of the big giants, folks. It's going to get a run up, and so long as Bitcoin continues down, it's going to give this a lot of leverage to move up and run towards, maybe not the highs, but at least this level up here, and that's a high return. I've told y'all I'm going to hold Litecoin for quite some time. I'm planning to hold Litecoin up to these levels, somewhere up in the 2 million Satoshi level, and I think we could reach that. Litecoin, actually, I think just had a big announcement as well, same as Ripple. Either way, Charlie Lee's extremely active with the team, so. Paul DeLucia, cutest coins today. we should just make a thing called cute coin, and like the icon's like a little cat or something. It'll be a competitor with Doge. Ricky, we did a little bit of coverage on Ripple. Definitely got paid today. I did a video talking about Ripple being a potential winner, and literally an hour later, it started getting massive volume from Korean exchanges. So. Definitely a trend that we've been spotting. Oh, wow, we got Nightbot working. Thank you, Nightbot, for the Patreon shout-out. That's awesome. It's cool to see we got the bot going. I saw your videos today. Sorry, let me scroll up real quick. A+ quality. Have you done a video highlighting Steam? How much of your social media platform can they capture? Or how much of the social media platform? That's a good question, Double Day Blue. Oh, nice to have you back in the stream, by the way. I noticed your name. For the question of Steam and Steemit, I think that Steam is going to continue to be adopted. It's one of the currencies that I'm, optimistic on, and I got a lot more optimistic on it when I saw that they had created DTube. And DTube seems like it is going to replace YouTube, in my opinion. So long as there is censorship, at least the fun part of YouTube is gonna move over to Steemit, and you can leave all the boring vloggers, on YouTube. That's fine with me. I don't care. But I think that Steemit's going to take a lot of the cool content creators and a lot of the, stuff like that we do. Coverage, talk, we debate, discuss things. No censorship needed. We just have a nice discussion and go about our days if we disagree. And I like that. I like that the platform is allowing for a little bit of controversy and posting pretty much what you want. And doing it on the blockchain, which is fantastic. So definitely big on Steam in the long term. All right. Let's see here. I see y'all talking about IOTA. I talked about IOTA in my portfolio video as being an optimistic player. I can't sit here, I mean, describe IOTA if that's what you're curious about. But IOTA in the long term, yeah, I like IOTA. I'm going to do a video. The list of coins that I have right now are Quantum, IOTA. I need to redo, I think this is going to be put first before anything. I'm going to do a review and redo on my Neo video. And I'm also going to tell you all how to install the Neo wallet that just came out and start generating gas. So, very highly requested, and I got that from one of my very large donators as well. So I'm going to definitely try to cover that topic because he was really curious about how to start generating gas. And I want to get that out as soon as possible so you guys can start generating the dividend for you long-term NEO holders. So, yeah, guys, like I said right here, I don't know if it cut out for you. I was telling you all up here Bitcoin was going to break down, and we've already reached new lows on this. So you can see the volume on the 5-minute down here. I honestly love watching price action. You can read the motion in the price action. You see the volume start to slowly pick up, the fear kind of coming in as we break down across the double bottom. So let's go to the 1 minute, guys. Let's watch this intensively. I don't want to watch it on the 1 minute, but you can see this is obviously continuing to pull down. It's not happening extremely fast, but this definitely looks like it's going to continue for a while, and the volume is still there. So I would love to see this down at 3,500 before I buy my Bitcoin tomorrow. Definitely at nice, cheap levels comparative to its highs. Definitely better not to buy it at 4,500. Alrighty. Can you claim Neo gas in non-whole numbers? Genzad, that's actually a good question. I need to actually check about that because I think there's been a lot of talk about that in trading on exchanges and stuff with non-whole numbers. So let me check on that. There's a calculator online that you can use, the Neo or the I think it was a gas generator or somewhere. You can do like gas calculator, or type in Neo gas calculator on Google and you'll find it. But I think it's a really cool little website that'll help you tell you how much gas you'll generate. Alrighty, that's better than David's. Data Dash, did you get into Salt? I remember you liking it in your review. Oshika, I couldn't, I don't know if I could participate or not, but I never did end up participating in it. I definitely thought it was a positive idea. I hope that it had a successful ICO, but I haven't been keeping up with it. And I think that a lot of ICOs, it's hard to participate in when I'm in the United States, so I try to stay out of that space just for, legal protection and stuff. But if there's an ICO I can participate in and there's no legal restrictions, I try to get it in, especially if I'm optimistic on it. But I wasn't optimistic to the level really that I wanted to get it personally, and I gave my honest review on it. But definitely might hold Salt when it goes onto exchanges because I think the concept's really cool. I see Johnny asking about Binance. That's a good question, Johnny. I think that Binance is good so long as it can deliver on the lower fees. I have a belief that they might not be able to deliver on that. So it makes me a little bit worried at the price levels that it's at. We see Bitcoin is currently breaking down here. I'm loving this price action on the hourly. Go back here to the 5-minute. This is a common, this is a chart pattern I want to teach you all about when you have sell-offs. This is called a breakdown. So you've got, of course, your initial breakdown, and you have the little, some people call this a dead cat bounce. It's just honestly the retracement where it looks like it's going to start coming back and start riding back up, but really it starts to curve back over. And once it touches the lows, the selling continues. So sometimes you'll have it where it comes here and it hits here and it finds support at that level and it continues up. That's called a double bottom, and when you breach that double bottom, it's a breakdown. So yeah, I think we're just going to continue to see this getting sold off, guys. It's definitely in pullback mode. I like Bitcoin. I think it's still a long term. This is a great buy, but I think that right now this needs to see a pull. In my opinion, I wouldn't be buying right away, or I wouldn't be eager to buy at these levels. Yeah, we definitely need a good little, it looks like we kind of wedged out here. Let's see if I can get my line tool working. All right, that's working. Thank God. I mean, folks, this is a common wedge. It broke through the wedge right here, and it's feeling a little bit of pain right now. So. Funky Fresh, I like the name. I like your little icon, your profile picture as well. Well, Neo will fall. I do not think Neo is going to fall. It might sell off a little bit, and if it does, buy on the dips if you're optimistic on it in the long term like I am. But yeah, Neo's definitely not leading in volume today. It's all these these coins that are being bought in South Korea. I mean, this looks fine to me. I'm still up on it. I bought practically at 780,000 satoshis. I'm not selling it. It's a long-term hold for me now. But if it comes back down here to touch at these levels, oh man, if you could get Neo at 750,000 again, that would be awesome. Especially with Bitcoin at new lows as well. So definitely an item to watch. 10x is better than Monaco. Donson, yeah, I do have to agree in the sense I like 10x. I haven't really seen Monaco's technology at work, but I know 10x is functioning tech. Neo bottom at 31. So I'm assuming you think it's probably going to come back down to these levels. Take a look at the wedge on Neo. Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, you could almost say it's a wedge. Let me see real quick. Yeah, it's a little bit of a wedge. It's kind of a rough wedge, to be honest. It just, honestly, to me, it looks like it's pulling back. We can do the 21 moving average to check momentum here. I bet we're going to find support generally around this moving average. If it does, that'd be awesome. Let's check the 50-day as well. See how that's doing. I bet it's still very low. Yeah. So I don't think we could use the 50-day for this because this is a little bit more of a Momo right now. This is more of the 21-day, but it's all subjective. That's the thing about TA. You gotta understand it's a little bit subjective, so you don't want to be too biased on it. But we might have to wait a few more days for a pullback, and I'm fine with that. I want to add more at these lows. So odds of Neo pulling back to its 200-day. Oh boy. Well, I'll show you that on the screen. You think Neo's going back down to 181,000 satoshis? I don't think so, folks. It didn't do it over here. It isn't going to do it up here. No, sir. I think this one is going for quite a run-up. You check that monthly. You tell me, do you think that's going to go down to 180,000 satoshis? Well, if there's a big technical error, I mean, maybe, yeah. But that's a fundamental issue. For now, things are looking fine for Neo. And they're going to start releasing ICOs. When that starts happening, big stuff's happening for Neo. So I can't wait till Neo gets some of its projects launched. I'm very optimistic on the long. And again, I told y'all I'm going to be doing a video on Neo again, recovering Neo now that it's, Ant shares now that it's Neo, and also talking about a lot of the fundamentals that I didn't really cover in my Ant shares video about the technology and the team. Alrighty, we got Apple's telling me to update my iOS. No, thank you. Alrighty. Please, Nick, if not spoken about District OX, could you give us an impression, long and short? Thanks. Fran, I did a video on District X, optimistic on it. I don't like that it's not on any exchanges that I trade, which is upsetting. However, actually it might be on the Liquid exchange, which I just signed up an account on, but I don't have any money transferred to. So let me go on CoinMarketCap real quick. District OX. Yeah, I love District OX in the long term. Nice to see that it's getting a pullback. Hubba, hello. Yeah, it needs to pull back a little bit. This thing had a massive run up. Yeah, nice $50 million valuation pullback. I like that. Yeah, it's on Liquid, so now I can actually trade District. I'll definitely try and pick it up if I get the chance, but definitely no rush. You can see, guys, we're getting, I think, the pullback in markets that we've kind of been talking about, especially with Bitcoin. Yeah, it's just like a drop-off right there. So it went from about $147 million in market cap down about $5 billion. Nothing drastic, but you can see the pace is picking up here, and that's mostly due to Bitcoin. Check the altcoin market here. Altcoins, like I said, they're kind of untouched right now. Bitcoin's the real mover towards the downside. Bitcoin Cash isn't feeling any love either. What happened to the cashing? I thought some of you seemed very confident on the cashing, but no, I'm kidding you. It might happen. I'm not gonna shoot you down. It's only been a few days, but I mean, God forbid it has a pullback, So I think that's important. Gas is getting a little bit pulled back as well, but that's nothing bad. Not to mention it's its own asset. It can go up over time in value. As we hold our Neo, Sell the house and the kids and get a loan. Chris, that's terrible. You should raise some kids. Have some kids. Kids are awesome. All right, let's see here. Sentiment? I don't know what that is, Tony. I haven't heard about that one. Which exchange do you recommend for a beginner? The insurance guy. I like your name. As you all see, I'm using Bittrex. I will continuously always recommend Bittrex. One of my favorite platforms. Gives you the widest range of altcoins you could ever need or want, or any of the coins that I recommend you to trade. We can see here that, there are some low volume coins in here, but they give you, they abandon a lot of the coins that you'll find on like Cryptopia. You don't want to use Cryptopia. You want to use Bittrex. It's a nice professional exchange. It's been excessively reliable for me. Never had an issue. Definitely consistent. So, alrighty. 3 billion just sold off in crypto market with the sell off in Bitcoin. Yeah, Rio, I mean, when Bitcoin moves down, market valuations overall usually go down. If it pulls down the altcoins with it, I mean, it can lead to a lot of drastic pullback in valuations. Actually, I know I closed out of it, but I'm going to bring up Crypto Watch again because I love having that on the chart. We can see it's rebounding a little bit, though. It's trying to give a fighting chance, but it's getting rejected here, what was previously support. So this might come down unless buyers come in to save it. What trading software do I use? Marinzen, I just use Bittrex. It's all online. And I use Liqui as well. I haven't actually used it yet, but I'm going to start using it for a lot of the ICOs that don't come on to Bittrex. There's a nice amount of trading volume on there, and there's a lot more range of ICOs that I don't get access to trading on Bittrex. So definitely going to start using a mix between the two exchanges. A Leviathan, huzzah! Nice to see. I'm glad I saw your comment out of home. Nice to have you on here, Leviathan. Have you used Ether Delta? Mike, I have not. I know that's where a lot of coins go on that, like, for example, Populous, I know is on there, and I want to buy Populous. There's just a dozen coins that I wanted to buy that are on Ether Delta. I just can't use a platform that doesn't allow me to chart it. I don't like using CoinMarketCap to chart. I see, two of you requested. Alex says Batcoin. Batcoin I'm going to do a video on in the future. I'm going to try and use its browser over the next few days or weeks, and then I'm going to do a video covering it because I think the browser technology is what's going to define whether or not it's worth, using. And then the other question real quick that I got was about Byteball. I don't know about Byteball. I'm sorry about that, Jordan. I haven't looked into Byteball, but supposedly it's a very limited supply, and supposedly they said I think it's a very secure coin. NeoPay, library coin, library credits, XRP, and IOTA. Sounds like a nice portfolio to me. I like all of those names. But Jordan, I don't know if you heard me because the stream lagged. I don't know about Byteball. I know that it has a very limited supply, which is nice, but I haven't actually heard about it yet. Exclamation point ban ages. That's funny. What do you think about Pillar? I want to mention to you all real quick because I see a lot of you all asking about certain coins. I always reiterate on my streams, and we're gonna have systems in place where you all can. We're hoping to get the Nightbot to answer that question for you and send off the link. I've done a lot of videos. I see we got another comment on Pillar. I've covered Pillar. I did a video on it. You should go check it out on my channel. If there's a coin you all are curious about my opinion on, I know a lot of you hop into the live stream, so I'm not yelling at you or anything, but if there's a coin you're interested in me giving my opinion on, I can't do a 10-minute lecture on a coin here. I'm going to get caught in the chat. Anglo, oh my gosh, thank you. Anglo, you have been so supportive. I want to know how much I've helped you with crypto profits, because if I haven't helped you, I don't know. Thank you, Anglo. I appreciate that, man. Man, you have been awesomely supportive. So real quick, wrapping up what I was saying, if you guys got a coin you want me to cover or talk about, make sure I haven't done a video on it already. Angelo, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You got anything you want me to cover? I'm actually getting interesting that you donated. I'm going to be doing the Neo Wallet video tomorrow. I'm going to try and make that as professional as possible. I didn't want to rush it out today because I wanted to make sure I made it quality. I've been doing a little bit of research on it, and I'm going to have that produced for you tomorrow, my friend, alongside the syndicator interview, which is going to be fun as well. So Lots going on. Angelo, thank you so much, my friend. Yes, I said you said yes. Awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good video. I'm going to try and make it as specific as possible and try to cover on how to generate gas. C. Schrader said, my new favorite YouTube channel for crypto. Well, C, thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you've got any comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the stream. And if you're looking for any kind of videos on kind of out on beginning in cryptocurrency, I've got 2 great videos: how to build a $500 crypto portfolio, and then crypto trading for beginners. And if that isn't enough for you, I'm also going to do trading cryptocurrencies for intermediates as well. That's going to be the next step. So stay tuned for that as well. Google developing a quantum computer. That's interesting, still up to date. That's cool. Does the lamp behind you work or not? You know what? Just because you said that. Ta-da. I wonder if that's going to look good. I might interrupt with the webcam a little bit. If that does distract you all or look bad, then I'll go change it. I'm going to watch it on my phone here real quick. That's not too bad. Does that mess up with the lighting? Nah, it looks fine. But yeah, could you add Navcoin? Navcoin, hold on, let me make sure this is the coin I'm thinking of. Navcoin. I gotta say, you know, as much as I did look into Navcoin a little bit, I don't like the lacking volume in it. It's just really short volume. The only coin that I've ever built that excuses that on the sense of trading in low volume is Mysterium. Oh, sorry, Logan. Let me put you back as mod. My apologies. I don't know if I can do it on here. No, I'm not signed into Data Dash on this YouTube, so let me go real quick. I'll make you mod real quick. Look at that photo of me right there. This looks pretty nice, actually. I haven't actually seen this like full scale. I mean, this is kind of Inception streaming right here. Is that the new like symbol right there? Like Illuminati. I got like one of my eyes covered up. Alrighty, should be a mod back again, Logan. I like the little Lenny face. Thoughts on First Blood about to moon? Seb, we can look at it real quick. I haven't looked at First Blood in a while. I like the gaming scene coming to the blockchain. Let's see here. Is it about to moon? Well, price action doesn't really show it. I think there's a lot of competitors in the space. That's what you have to keep in mind with this. But man, has this had a drastic pullback. I remember when I first was kind of, you know, I got serious about trading. I bought some First Blood and I made like a swing trade from 32,000 satoshis to 40,000, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready to sell. And then literally I think I sold it up in this area, and then the next day, like, more than almost triples in value. Tell you, this market is crazy. And those low volume, that's a big thing I tell you about. The low volume ones, you know, they're easy to pump and dump, so you don't want to get involved with them. That is, unless you're buying low, you know. I mean, if you're buying low and someone comes in and, you know, pushes it up and you've got your sell order set, then I mean, hey, you get the benefit from that. But never participate in that stuff, guys. I see too many people joking about it. It's not a good thing to do. IOTA, what are you doing? Stop dropping, Brian. I hate to say it, I'd love IOTA to drop some because I want to hold some for the long term, but I need to get an exchange where I can buy it. Pepe was permanently banned. Alright, guys. Pepe keeps us in a dungeon cell in his basement. You guys don't know mods are banning each other. That's good to see you guys are back in here. That's good. Thoughts on Amise Go? Walter Love. I did a video on Amise Go. You should go check it out. I'm optimistic on the long term. However, in my opinion, let me actually go check the price action. I think it needs a pullback, but yeah, it hasn't pulled back seriously yet. I'm just letting y'all know this chart right here. This is an ascending wedge, which is not a bullish pattern. Okay. So you have a rising support level like this, where the support level is rising faster, and then you've got the resistance level, which is rising slower. This is an ascending wedge, which is a breakdown pattern. So let me get my crosshairs here. So what you should expect is this to kind of wedge out, get rejected one more time, or maybe that's the final rejection 3 times. It's a triple top, and it can break down here and find support down here. 100,000 Satoshis, I'd buy this. It's just a little overextended for where it is right now. It's almost $1 billion cryptocurrency. Misago had a very successful ICO. I'll give it that. But it's a little too overextended for me to buy it here, folks. Ban Data Dash. What if I could get banned from my own stream? That would not be good. That would show that, you know, we think the internet's a bad thing. That'd be the biggest technical difficulty. All right. What's all of your portfolio list? Genzad, that's a good question. Right now, I'm holding Litecoin, holding Ethereum, I'm holding Bitcoin, Neo, and Ethereum Classic. Those are the 5 I'm holding right now. There's 5, right? Yeah. So, doing pretty good today. I was pretty much flat because Litecoin and Ethereum Classic have yet to really take off. Well, the reason, no, sorry, I did make some on Litecoin today, but my Neo's a little bit down. So they kind of cross each other out, but I don't care about the diversification, guys. I'm looking at it in the long term, not daily returns, because I know if I can consistently make anywhere from 1 to 5% each day, maybe have a flat day in between, I know that's going to compound real quick. I'm not looking to make 100% return one day and then try to double my money again, because I'm going to end up losing 50% of it if I do that. So we got to think in the long term. Bitcoin dropped down to 3,800, and Ethereum is pulling back to 320-ish. Yeah, I think Ethereum is understandable. It's pulling back. But this, honestly, folks, as much as I want Bitcoin to go down a little bit more, yeah, I still think Bitcoin's going down. I mean, we can look at it and say, oh, it's starting to go up a little bit. You know, we can look that short term. But I honestly think we're going to get a pullback down to this range, folks. If you really want my humble opinion on a technical standpoint, it needs to pull back. It went all the way up. Really think about this. You know, I think it's good to get a perspective on the weekly because this really speaks volume. We actually had some good volume. Within a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, we were able to go from actually no, well, if we include this week, so we'll give it 5 weeks. From 5 weeks, we went from a low of $1,800, even with Bitcoin Cash being created and distributed equally to people, and now is a multi-$100 cryptocurrency. Went from 1,800 to over 4,430, and over here we went even higher, around 4,500. You need a pullback, folks. I've been saying this for quite some time. As much as I'm exuberant on Bitcoin, the exuberance can also make all the difference when it pulls back. And I think we're going to get, you know, first level here, more reasonable would be here at 34 to 3,500. Next level down here to look for. Oops, it looks like the stream went offline for a second. Sorry about that. But down here as well would be nice. Why am I testing your patience? Oh, you're waiting for... Sorry about that. I thought you were talking about me. Alright, okay, so I guess I don't know if the stream was just offline for me or if it was offline for y'all. But yeah, I'm hoping for Bitcoin to pull back. And I'm in the same boat as you. I think Bitcoin needs to pull back. Tunisiano, sorry, I can't really read it that well from where I'm at. I covered Ripple. If you want to see Ripple in the long term, I did a video on it, and then also I covered Ripple early in the live stream. I think it's going to continue going up. Just make sure to try and pick it up at a pullback. But don't wait too long if you like it. Alrighty. Awesome, nice to see that I'm online. Bitcoin Cash will go how low? Mark, Bitcoin Cash, I don't know how low it's going to go per se. It looks like it's finally actually starting to curve up here on the hourly. This looks very nice. It found support right here. I said it was either going to find support here or it would find support at this level at 125,000 satoshis. As much as I wouldn't buy at these levels, this definitely looks a little more like the buy area if you want to get in it. I told you all not to buy up here, but it's still very pricey. You have to keep in mind it's still more than 100% up at these levels. Do you feel safe paying 100% premium than you would have back on the 15th of August? You got to make that decision for your own. Hatch attack. No, I'm not pushing for Monero personally yet. I have to do more research on it before I... Phil Ellison, do the finger snap. I missed it. Okay, that wasn't a strong snap. Okay. My snap game isn't good. I think my fingers are a little bit sweaty. Sometimes, I will tell you all, sometimes I'll start off a video and I'll snap and I'll go like, what's going on, guys? And I'll be like, oh, wait, no, that wasn't a strong enough snap. Now I need to like redo that. So I restart the recording and I'll get it right until I get a good snap. Sometimes my snap game isn't good and I can't start it off strong. So one sec, guys. Let me check my notifications here. Oh, we getting some Discord noises. I apologize, everyone. Let me close out of Discord. All right. What was the question here? Alex says, "Do you think I will get in? I will get it back. Can't believe I sent it to." Oh, did you send? Did you send it to the wrong address, Alex? I apologize if that happened. That sucks. Got to make sure you're sending things to the right address before you send anything. Cost you $1,200, Alex. And I'm sorry about that, man. That's not fun. That's not something to even laugh about. I don't know. Someone could probably talk to you about if there's some way they cross. I mean, if you send it to Bittrex, they might be able to help you, but you have to send them an email and contact support. And give them the specific addresses that were sent. So, oh, Double Day Blue. We got a $5 donation. Thank you so much. Let's read what you have to say. What are the top 5 lucrative industries that crypto can make a prominent impact on? By lucrative, I think you mean like kind of dark, in that kind of sense. Make a prominent impact on. Well, it's a good question, Double Day Blue. I think that if you're talking about lucrative industries, I think we already know where cryptocurrencies kind of play a role. I think in the drug industry is probably one. I think that you probably have marijuana come legalized in the next few years. I don't know where you all stand on that personally. I honestly don't have much of an issue with it. That all being said, I think that that's going to be the biggest industry where you'll see cryptocurrency be used. It's a nice thing where people can use it for privacy. I don't think it'll be on the deep web or anything like that. I think it's going to be legal. I think that most drug spending is usually on cannabis, so I think that that'll be an industry where cryptocurrencies and crypto payment solutions will be pretty quick in the sense of use for privacy. God, I'm trying to think of 4 other industries that are lucrative. I'm not one to be in lucrative industries. Double Day Blue, but maybe if you give me like an industry or two that you think might be impacted, and I can give you my opinion on that. But I'm just not really big with like the deep web sort of things, or the dark industries, or the cartels or syndicates. I don't know. I definitely think that cybersecurity would actually be kind of interesting with blockchain, and to see some kind of implementation in the future. So we'll have to see. Crypto is being eased into to replace the U.S. dollar. Andrew, I knew I liked you from your name, Andrew Interrupted. That's such an interesting name because I love. Well, I don't want to get too political, but I do like Andrew Breitbart. He speaks very well on free speech, and that's a cool name. But I completely agree with you on that, Andrew. I think that fiat's slowly running out. We just don't see it yet. If you're comparing fiat to fiat, you're not going to see it. If you compare it to Bitcoin, you're seeing it. You're on the right track. Market garden. I might be wrong on lucrative. Sorry, sometimes, guys, I have my brain farts when it comes to English, but lucrative to me sounds like lucrative industries. It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that. Well, let's see here real quick. What chart is this? BPT. This is Bitcoin right now. We're looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart. So what are your thoughts on Indian investors surging and on 24th of August? Will it affect all the exchange platforms? Alex Soto, I actually haven't heard much about Indian platforms coming into cryptocurrencies. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Is there a date that an exchange is opening? Oh, it means money making. Oh, time. Well, that's a good question. Well, money-making industries, I can name a few of them. I think that, we talked about finance being the biggest one. Decentralizing finance is going to be huge. I think that decentralizing lending is going to be awesome. I think peer-to-peer lending is something that's going to be on the blockchain in the near future that a lot of people haven't really talked about. And then there's also going to be cloud storage, something that involves a lot of privacy and a very high profit industry. I think that's going to come to the blockchain. We've already seen that with Coin and a few other ICOs such as Filecoin and Storage. Then we've also got one of my, what was the other? Also, well, I guess if you want to still continue on the topic of finance, I think BitShares is a pretty interesting replacement for exchanges in the sense of decentralized exchanges. I think that Steam is going to be a game changer as well. Mysterium as well. Oh, Alex, real quick, thank you very much for your donation. 12-month hold thoughts on Golem and Gnosis. Well, I will tell you, I like Golem. Golem is not something you even want to look at 12 months. You want to look at a few years of holding Golem. You do not want to try and swing trade Golem. Golem is a long-term ambitious project. It's got a long timeline. But if it can deliver on its promises, definitely it'll be a huge player. So if you believe in it, keep it on your radar, Alex, and buy it now if you really like it that much. Make sure you do your research and you really like it, but hold it long term. And then on Gnosis, I don't know too much extensive about it. I understand it's on prediction markets. That being said, I don't know. There's a lot of coins competing in that space. If Gnosis comes out on top, though, it could be a good holding. So you gotta wait for a little bit of the coins to flush through to really make a determination on holding some of these for the long term. But thank you again for your donation, Alex. I appreciate it. If you got any more questions, feel free to let me know. Well, interesting how you say that, Matthew. There actually is a lot of companies that are paying in cryptocurrency right now. It caught my surprise. I learned about it about 2 to 3 months ago. There are some companies that now offer plans where they can pay you in Bitcoin. And of course, now you got to pay your taxes. Of course, is everything. You can't just get paid Bitcoin and not pay taxes. But however, you can get paid in Bitcoin for your services. Pretty cool, isn't it? So if you work for freelance work, a lot of times people just pay some Bitcoin. Hey, there you go. Thanks for doing that for me. If you work for a corporate entity, though, you usually have to pay your taxes on it, whatever the equal USD distribution would be. But yeah, definitely getting paid in cryptocurrency. I'd love that. If y'all got some services you want me to do that I don't mind doing, I'd love to get paid in some Bitcoin or maybe some Ethereum or whatever. So. Alright, so y'all are asking about District OX. I did a video on District OX recently. As I always emphasize on the channel, everyone, if you're curious about a coin on the stream, before you ask me, unless you're asking for like a recent technical price swing, go check my channel, please, and see if I've done a video on it. I did a really nice positive review on District OX. I think it's an ambitious project, but if it can deliver, it will be a game changer for the internet. So. Definitely, I love the idea of decentralized communities on the Ethereum blockchain and using Aragon for governance and IPFS, which is definitely going to overall be a game changer if they can synchronize everything. Joseph, yeah, I think that Bitcoin needs to continue pulling back. I think we're going to continue seeing it downwards. Thank you, Pepe, for sharing the District OX video. I appreciate that. Omar, no, I have not. IOTA, no fees, no mining agenda. Still today, I like that. Do a video on salt. You will be a legend. Andrew, I actually did a video on salt. You should go check it out. I was actually, I think, one of the first YouTubers who actually covered salt before it got more well known. Real quick, everyone, I'm going to plug in my iPhone charger. Plug that to my computer. Oops, I don't think I have enough. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, let's check the 5-minute here on Bitcoin. Yeah, I will say it's making a fight. But that being said, it's still down for the majority. We're not seeing any serious buy volume come in, which is worrying me here. Big sellers continue to come in. That's a little worrisome. Alright, we back online, everyone? Just want to double check. Alright, awesome, we're back. Mr. Not So Common Sense. All my Bitcoin Cash converted to Litecoin. It's going to hit $2.5 billion market cap. It's just far too small for Litecoin. Yeah, I agree. I think that the market cap's too small for Litecoin. It's in a fundamental sense. Sep, sorry, I might be saying your name wrong. On the question of Zencash, I haven't looked at that. I've heard of Zcash, but I'll have to look into that. I think it was too low volume for me to really get into it or get interested. Zencash, yeah, the volume's too low for me right now. Definitely it's cheap compared to when it came out at its ICO, I will say that. Or when it came on the markets, I guess. It wasn't an ICO. I believe DNT is being added to Binance in a few hours. Jordan, that could be some good news. A lot of people have been adopting Binance due to its low fee structure if you use the token. Oh, that's cool. We got Nightbot reminding everyone of my terrible internet connection. That's funny. I like that. Still up to date. As I said, check out my channel if you're curious opinion on a coin. I did a video on Pillar as well. So go check that out. Buy the rumor, sell the news. There you go, crypto. Good night, Nicholas in chat. Storm Raid, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to let y'all know I'm going to cut this off in about 5 minutes. I'm sorry to cut the stream so short tonight, everyone. I usually go on longer, but I haven't been able to get an ibuprofen and my mouth's been hurting a little bit. I don't know if it's just because I haven't taken an ibuprofen. I left it at my other house as well, so I just can't go on talking a lot for the rest of the night. But that being said, let's do a quick summary. I'll try to answer 1 or 2 more questions before things get over. I want to do a quick summary on what we've been talking about. So I think we're going to continue to see the trends in the South Korean exchanges. We were proven right today. The candidate was Ripple. It's almost like we're going through like a slot machine here. We're trying to see like, all right, what's the next one, you know? What's the next candidate we're waiting for? And, you know, we've only got a few select candidates on BitHum. We already went through Ripple, went through Ethereum, went through Bitcoin Cash, went through Dash, and now we're just waiting for either Litecoin or Ethereum Classic, both of which I'm holding in my portfolio. So let's go check Litecoin real quick. Looks not the best on the 30-minute or hourly, but still looking fine on that daily. Nothing wrong here, folks. Nothing to see that's scaring me. Just going to say real quick, on a positive note, is this, or man, that's a little too wide, I think. Does this look familiar to anyone? Does it look familiar? Does it have the same support level? Folks, can I get a yes? Look at that. It's repeating price action. If we don't have our heads stuck in the 5-minute chart, if we were looking at the 5-minute chart, we wouldn't see that. We'd be like, oh no, it's crashing, I gotta sell. Look at the daily here. It's doing exactly what it's done in the past. So I'm very optimistic on Litecoin. It'd be crazy to see if we can get back up here with how high Bitcoin's gone. But nonetheless, I think Litecoin deserves it. That's actually one thing I will check real quick is the USD valuation of Litecoin. Let's check how that chart's doing. Oh, this is looking for the run-up, folks. It's been holding that 50-day. It's been waiting for the big buyers to come in. It's been holding that. I love it. Doesn't want to give up the 50-day. Very optimistic. Alrighty, so definitely still optimistic on Litecoin. I think we all know that I'm optimistic by now. Oh, Edward, thank you for my pronunciation. BitThumb, I'm sorry about that. Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic here on the daily. Still looking fine. The Wixes, I hope we definitely can get some upwards price action close towards the highs because the Wixes aren't looking that nice. But found support down here. We might get what we got here, where it's a little bit of a toss-up in this area, and then we get the breakout. Repeating price action, folks. It happens over and over again. We just got to take the time to step out of the 5-minute chart. This is why I tell y'all not to swing trade all the times. Not always, don't always look at that short-term chart. Look at the long-term. Look at the daily, and think about the potential that you could get if you hold long-term. Alrighty. Well, Clev, I thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not always right on, but I definitely say I was very confident in making that video today on the market trend for you all. So I appreciate your comment, Clev. If I come out like that, and you can tell it kind of in my voice when I do the videos, I was very exuberant about making this call. Now I'm not always 100% on everything. I don't want you guys thinking that. And of course, I'm no financial advisor. I gotta state that, but I really want to make it clear to you all that I felt very confident on that. And if we look at this on a weekly sense, you're buying after the pullback. Time to start riding the altcoins. Bitcoin is going down. And we're starting to see that process. The altcoins might feel a little bit of pain for short term, but I think a lot of the legendaries, Litecoin and Ethereum Classic, are going to... Oh, real quick, Alex, thank you for your other donation as well. Sorry the stream went offline. I don't know if that's just on my end, but I will definitely try to do a golem analysis real quick. As I told you, Alex, as much as... one sec. Golem. Please fix your sound. Too low. Alright. Well, I'll speak a little bit louder into the mic. I was a little bit farther away. I apologize. But let's see here. Well, Golem, it looks like it almost kind of bottomed out here. Let's see what the support level was over here. So we're at 7,900 Satoshis. Wow, this is definitely it's definitely low. Yeah, the thing is, I would definitely feel comfortable buying Golem at these levels. That all being said, you have to keep in mind that this is a very long-term project. However, we can do as much of a technical analysis as we can. And apply right here with this kind of oversold cryptocurrency. Let's apply the MACD. We can see the MACD is starting to cross here. The white line is crossing the red line. Very bullish sign. However, it's not a guarantee. I think what you really need to... I can obviously see right here, as from a technical analysis standpoint, if you can get a ride-up towards... let me get the segment tool back. If you can get a... If you can get a ride up past this level, breaking against this resistance, and you can get a pullback down onto this level, finding common support here. So kind of imagine the price action curving here along this line, and then you get a breakout up towards new highs, in my opinion. I think Golem's a great project, but they need to have some news, some headlines. That's what drives these things. And if they can get a release, I know they were doing a brass Golem. If they can get that, that's going to be a nice return for Golem in the long term. I think that Golem has an ambitious project. I have someone on my Discord who's really optimistic about it as well. very ambitious in the community as well. But he's very big on Golem, and I am too. I think Golem is a good candidate. I like what they're trying to achieve. It's a very interesting concept. The world's supercomputer, decentralizing, the utilization of CPU and GPU power. I love that because, quite frankly, proof of work. As much as I think it's important for the base stage of cryptocurrency, we need to move away from work and utilize all that GPU and CPU power for something good. And when more coins are more towards proof of stake or proof of importance, like we see with NEEM or other forms of new circulation, there's going to be all that wasted GPU power that people are going to be like, well, crap, we might as well put it on the Golem network. So I think that we're going to see that in the long term. That's something I've always thought about in the sense of Golem. And I think people are going to really adopt that network and try to put all that wasted GPU power to work. So, Amar, thank you very much. Sorry, I might not be saying your name right. I was saying Amar. I know how to say that. I'm just terrible with names. I apologize. But thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate it. If you got something you want me to cover, I'm going to close the live stream here pretty quick. But yeah, James, I'm glad you see what I like on that. But Amar, if you got something you want me to cover real quick, I'll try to cover it last minute. But Nightbot was permanently banned. I think that just about sums it up, folks. Well, anyways, I do want to say to all of you, thank you all so much for watching the live stream. I'm sorry I had to cut it a little bit short tonight. But I do want to thank you all for sticking around. You all have been immensely supportive of me. I hope you all like the new look. Can I get a real quick line of feedback on the closing of the live stream if you guys like the changes? I think Aegis, our moderator, did a fantastic job. Love to hear what you all think. AWS on a planetary scale. Brett, I'm sorry. I don't want to leave you, but my jaw's been hurting. I'll be back, though. I just need to get my ibuprofen. It's still from my wisdom teeth surgery. Cheers and thanks, Nick. You're very gracious. Yes, love it. Awesome. Glad to hear, Zero. I appreciate it. Number 1, Zero. I like that name. Yes, but get a haircut. CryptoB, that is literally... Hey, it's in the pipeline. I'm actually getting a haircut pretty soon. I just need to get out there, so... You're like the nicest guy. Catherine, Catherine, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you to say. I do appreciate that. Hope you feel better, bro. Have a good day. Thank you, Brush, bro. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate it. I'm Blake by 10x. Thank you all very much. It says the stream's off for me. I hope it's not off for you. That all being said, I love you all very much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.